Over $96,000 for this 2025 GLS 450. We're here at Mercedes-Benz. It's crazy though because they're completely full to the brim, but the prices are almost the same as General Motors, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. I mean, I'll go to a Dodge dealership. You guys see $100,000 Jeep Wranglers. So we come here to Mercedes and the prices are cheaper than Jeep. You know, it just doesn't make sense. That's how crazy the domestic manufacturers have gotten with pricing. But let's see here. $78,000, 2025 GLE 450E. Is this the all electric? But still, I mean, you would think the price would even be more, but the prices are crazy no matter where you go. And it's what you expect. You're at Mercedes-Benz. Are you expecting to see cheap vehicles? Even though we probably will see one in the 40s, which if you think about that, I can barely find a $40,000 vehicle at some Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealership. So we'll see. We might see one in the 40s, but that's probably the most affordable. But still, $92,000. Are we just walking up to an F-150? I mean, literally, GLS 450. Man, $90,000. And that's the other thing is, you know exactly what's going on. You will lose a lot of money. These things, they depreciate like no other. You're looking at a Mercedes-Benz. Resale value is almost non-existent, but at the end of the day, a lot of people just lease them. They're not even wanting to keep these vehicles. They're trying to get it for a few years, and then they'll get rid of it. It's that simple. Now, this one looks very expensive. V8, double turbos here. Let's see, 2025 AMG. Look at that, $144,000, GLE 63. The crazy thing is, we have seen F-250s that cost $154,000. So we're here at Mercedes, where you shouldn't have Ford vehicles competing price-wise with Mercedes. That should not happen. But that's the reality of the situation that we're living in right now, where prices just don't make sense at all. I mean, I guess at Mercedes, it's what you expect. You know, what else would you expect here? $144,000, wow. $70,000 on this one, 2025 GLE 350. Man, not cheap at all. But the sales are down a little bit with Mercedes this year, actually. There's another one, $99,000, 2025 GLS 450, and they're just down slightly. We'll see how the year actually ends, but dealerships are completely full. So any make, any model you want, the dealership's gonna have inventory of Mercedes for sure. Now, some of the higher, G-Wagons, they try to play games and market adjustments. Don't pay a market adjustment. Don't pay add-ons for any Mercedes. Don't play the dealership game. Go to a different one, because every Mercedes dealership's loaded to the brim. Their sales are down slightly from the peak, and it just is what it is, because $101,000, yeah, 2025 GLS 450. A lot of people stretch their financial situation. And so right now, at 84-month payments, you know, a lot of people are doing that with Mercedes, or they're trying to lease it. They can barely afford it on a lease, but it's getting less, it's getting fewer. Fewer people are able to do that now, because obviously everything's going up, and it's been, you know, that's why sales are down just slightly with Mercedes. But we'll see how they end up going at the end of the year. But it's crazy to see these prices. It really is. And a lot of people are like, I would rather buy this $124,000 GLS 580. I'm surprised how many people, they're like, I would much rather, if a Jeep's the same price as a Mercedes, they're like, I would much rather buy a Mercedes than a Jeep. You know, just, if you're gonna spend the same money, they both depreciate like no other, you know what I mean? But the reliability and maintenance on this thing, and someone's gonna say these Mercedes are the most reliable vehicles ever built, but I mean, let's just be honest, guys. It's a Mercedes-Benz. They're known to have high costs to repair, and they're known to have a lot of issues. I lived in Germany for many years. They had them all over the place. $83,000 for this one. Wow, GLE 450. The repair costs are like no other. You're going to have an increased repair cost, but I mean, even the domestic manufacturers are building these vehicles more complicated, so maybe the parts are more expensive, but at the end of the day, every brand you go to now is like that. $63,000 for this one, GLC. Yeah, here we go. We got some sedans, and this is where a lot of the domestics, they don't even offer sedans anymore. So at least, you know, if you want a sedan, you have very few manufacturers to go to, and almost none on the domestic side. You know what I mean? They're all getting away from this. Let's see what they're looking at for these, I would say unreliable sedans, but some would say otherwise. $51,000, C300. It's just long-term, you can't keep it. But who buys a Mercedes and says, I'm gonna keep this for 20 years? I don't think anybody does that. So it really doesn't matter. And I think most people are just leasing them, or they're gonna finance it and get rid of it in a few years. They're not planning on keeping it. Now here's this wagon. Surprised they still have this here. Let's see how much it is. Not cheap at all, not cheap at all. Yeah, $88,000, 2025 E450, but it's in stock. Any make, any model, anything you want is in stock now. The days of having no inventory are over. You know, inventory is at every dealership, so you don't pay market adjustments. You don't pay addendum stickers. You don't pay $200 for nitrogen-filled tires, which luckily we're not seeing here, because you guys know that's what I do. I come and I expose these dealers if they have any add-ons or market adjustments or anything like that. And a lot of dealers, this one included, when inventory was low and they had specialty models, I heard of stories where they were doing crazy stuff like $40,000 on a G-Wagon and all this stuff. But I don't know, because I don't have 100% proof, because I wasn't trying to buy a G-Wagon. Here you go, $47,000, 2025 GLB 250. So we officially saw a Mercedes under $50,000 in the 40s. Still a whole lot of money for this little tiny SUV. But we've walked up to Dodge Hornets that cost over $50,000. Now we're at a Mercedes dealership and it's the same price. That's why so many people are like, I would rather just buy the Mercedes if it's the same price as all the other brands. Let me know what you think. Have a great day and stay blessed.